In the heart of Nairobi, Kenya, lies Kibera, the largest urban slum in Africa. Here, over 500,000 souls live crammed in tiny spaces of corrugated iron, amidst rampant poverty. Through narrow alleys, a life of little hope unfolds. Life is tough. Only the resilient survive. Most people who live in Kibera are unable to break the vicious circle of poverty. Their dreams fade. For many, remaining alive for one more day is the ultimate goal. Mwangi has spent all his life in Kibera. All he can claim as his is a minuscule corner of 2 square meters, with no toilet or kitchen.
Every day I wake up, I carry water for people, even if it is 5 jerry cans or 6. I get about $50 per day. I save it and buy myself food in the evening, and the remaining shillings I use for breakfast in the morning. I have to skip lunch and save for supper, and so if I do not get anything in a day, I will always hope for tomorrow. But when I get a wheelbarrow and a house to settle in, I will be glad. I find life to be hard, but I can never take away my life. I just persevere. You just have to hold on.
Benedict used to live on the streets and got involved with drugs. Meeting Mwangi brings out strong emotions.
When I was speaking with him, I felt so pity, I felt sympathy for him. I felt so sad because the environment and the condition a human being is living in, it's no different than a wild animal is living within, so it's really sad. The environment in Kibera, the way it is bad for me because a lot of dreams are cut short. Many people have given up. When you look at the environment, the housing structure, the kind of things we have, the facilities, the resources, they are limited. The resources, they are not updated. The resources are very scarce, and people are fighting for these resources so that they can satisfy their own needs. And in doing so, we end up maybe breaking the law. We end up crossing the line. One things that I've done that I regret. A lot of things that I've done that I'm not proud of, such as doing drugs, dropping out of school, and there are a lot of things, stealing from people, mugging people, and doing things that the environment was demanding me to do, and I succumbed to it. Doing things, living a life what the environment was requesting for me, succumbing to what my friends want, doing things that me myself, I believe they are not right, but I did it anyway. So for me, I feel sad. I wasted a lot of my years, a lot of my time, this time that where I could be somewhere doing something else, I'm back again. So I'm back from square one. So I really regret, ever messing up my life. At that particular time, I always felt good, It was my company. It was like a true friend, a true father, a true mother to me. They comforted me. They brought the nature that I wanted to see. The nature that I feel good. I feel like I own the world. I feel like I don't have problems. I forgot everything about me. I forgot where I come from. I forgot about my pain, my struggle, my rejections, how my family members, how people have rejected me. So doing drugs at that particular moment, it felt good to me.
Kibera's dark side is made of thousands of people who live in limbo between shadows, who lost all hope and linger in seedy bars, drinking and dancing their troubles away. Dilapidated gyms provide an opportunity for those who wish to build their bodies for physically demanding jobs.
Honestly speaking, when I was still a child, I didn't have any hopes or dreams. I remember way back then, after my high school, I didn't know what to do next and I was hopeless. So after some time, then they gave me opportunity to go back to school in college. I did hospitality and then finished a diploma. So I went again to college to do fitness and health. So that's what I'm currently doing right now. My first advice is commitment. Commitment is everything. And then dedication. You have to dedicate yourself to whatever you want to do in life. And then hard work.
Others, like Morgan, punch their dreams at home. He dreamed of becoming a famous boxer. Now, he uses his skills to defend the weak in the community.
When I am boxing, I feel I have achieved something great, although I haven't gone far. But in that moment, I feel I am in my own zone. I feel like a king at that moment, because it is what I love doing. My big dream is to make it through boxing. I would love to play international games, to be an international player, and be able to change my community. I protect the community from harm with my boxing skills. If someone from my community is being harassed by bad boys or being mugged, I go to help them and retrieve what they have taken from the person. Just a few days ago, my neighbor was being attacked by boys who were drinking alcohol. I heard the noise when I was in my room, and I reacted quickly to see what was happening. I went out and found she was being harassed. I confronted the boys, and they left without any more drama.
But there is also light in Kibera. Many people work hard to overcome the poor draw they got in the lottery of life.
Hey Mum, how are you? What are you sewing today? A skirt and a blouse. Okay, see you later at the house. Okay.
The Otieno family lives in a small mud home. 15 people share 2 rooms with no toilet. Mercy meets her sisters and prepares supper, the traditional ugali dish made of maize.
Life in Kibera is difficult because there are no jobs and many are suffering. Challenges are here, as you can see. Our food needs are great and business is down. Getting them food to eat and their school fees is my biggest challenge. When my brother died and left me with his kids, I had a tough time enrolling the kids in school. But finally I managed. I live with 13 kids and their father is now jobless. None of them is working. None of my girls who have finished high school has a job. I am the only one who does business, and sometimes when I get a call to go wash clothes, I go. For me, what is important in life is my children. As long as none of them is sick, and as long as I get even 1 packet of maize meal, we get satisfied with that. We eat it, sleep, and tomorrow we wake up and look for another one.
They live and sleep in close quarters, where privacy is an unknown luxury.
Most of my children are girls, and the important thing I teach them is how to protect themselves out there, because if they don't protect themselves, they know the consequences.
But there are families worse off than the Otienos in Kibera. Jennifer is an HIV-positive single mother who struggles to raise 5 children, all crammed in a small, damp room.
I have 5 children. Their father left me way back before I gave birth to the small one. He is somewhere. He did not die. He is still alive and left me while I was pregnant. Since I gave birth, I am alone with my children. There's a lot of problems because when you are alone, you do not have someone to help you out. When you are not able to get anything, there is no one you expect to help you out. For instance, last month, I was so sick. I had to go and cry to their teacher who paid for my rent for 1 month. And since then, I have not been able to pay my rent. Even right now, when you are all still here, my door might be locked because I have not paid for the past 6 months. Bringing up kids by yourself is hard because there is no one else you can run to. It is only you. If you get it, it's okay, but if you do not, there is no one to run to but God.
Jennifer's daughter Alice bears her mother's stigma and gathers all her courage to climb the steep hill to school every day.
In my opinion, it is important that someone goes to school because in this current life, it is only education that can help you. Because if you do not go to school, you will not even be able to get a job. So, education is important because when you are done, you will get a job, have money, and be able to cater to your needs. My wish, after finishing education, is that I get a job so that I can help my mother and take her away from Kibera, take her to a place far away where she will be able to live a better life with no struggles, and also help my young ones get education. The important thing that I have learned in school is respect, discipline, cooperation with others, and that you should be honest and share your problems and not hold on to them. What I have learned from my mother is that even if you face problems, you should have hope, knowing that one day all these problems will come to an end and life will be better again.
How does the fact that her mother is HIV positive affect Alice?
She's affected because most of the time she thinks that the mother will leave her before even she gets older. She thinks wherever she gets sick, she's going to die. Also, stigmatization. She feels maybe she's the only one. Like maybe if the rest of the kids knows about it, they might laugh at her. She feels like, oh, okay, like trouble just came to her. She feels not comfortable about that. So she's mostly down. She's not happy. The self-esteem goes down.
When I play music, I feel relaxed. When I feel lonely, I play the flute, and I feel happy. Music helps me when my mum has nothing and we are lonely, or when we have a problem at home. I start playing, telling myself that one day God will help us. All this problem will end, and we will live a better life.
While music provides solace to some, self-determination, hard work and a firm belief in God help others to find the road out of perdition in Kibera.
Wow, turning around, it was not an easy road. You know, it is easy to fail than to succeed. So taking a new leaf, a new turn, it was the hardest decision of my life, you know. And I want to say I owe my change, I owe this new desire in me to God, because a lot of things were tried. At some point I was taken to court, at some point I was taken to prison, I was caned by people, I was sat down by people who talked to me, but that never rang anything, that never did anything to me. But meeting with Jesus, he turned everything around and he made the journey to be easy.
Jesus, my Father, we render them powerless. We declare and decree they are null and void.
Life is worthy living because I have a destiny to fulfill. You know, I have millions of people waiting for me outside there to inspire them, to encourage them, you know, to correct them, to uplift them, to be a blessing to them. And also, there's a million people outside there waiting for me also to help me. So life is worthy living for. And I believe we have to have hope that no matter what we pass through, we have to enjoy every moment God gives us to breathe on this earth.
Kibera also attracts non-profit organizations and good-hearted foreign volunteers who travel to participate in their mission. They experience the shock of poverty, and the inspiration of hospitality and the exhilaration of the warm welcome they get from the locals.
The first time I went to Kibera, I was shattered, brokenhearted, overwhelmed by the reality of how people were living, overwhelmed by the reality of their day-to-day struggles, the lack of basic services. But I've always appreciated things that shattered me, and I've always appreciated things that broke my heart. I've always wanted injustice to be the inspiration for action. Connection is the single most important thing about the human experience. Crossing Thresholds has been the great love of my life. We build and maintain schools for underserved kids in the Kibera Slum. Of critical importance, all of our schools are also committed to serving breakfast and lunch each day. Life-changing for kids who might very well not eat otherwise. For our 10-year anniversary, we asked ourselves, could we triple the number of volunteers, triple the energy, and in one trip build a school and a feeding center and make this incredible difference for a group of kids? We called it the Big Build. They came out of the woodwork. They came out of the woodwork, which sort of affirmed or confirmed that sense that people are looking for good things to do.
Let's give ourselves a hand.
The original vision of the Big Build was quite simply to build the next needed school in the Kibera Slum. We had identified the educator, we had bought the property, we were ready to go.
Most people who live in Kibera are squatters, so the government is reluctant to provide public services to them. Kibera has no sanitation, no public schools, no hospital or fire brigade. Fires are common and deadly. A fire destroyed the Garden of Hope school at night. The whole community was shattered and in despair.
We had a fire in one of the communities, and one of our schools was burned to the ground. This was just before Christmas. It was a very emotional experience, particularly for the community, and they were devastated, and they thought that was the end of the show.
When I heard the news that our school has caught fire, I didn't even believe until when I arrived at the scene personally. I was unable to control my tears.
And surely I saw it was down to ashes. There was nothing. I felt hopeless. I thought there's nowhere to work. I have no job. Maybe now, where do I go? I felt, where do our kids go? What will they do?
We reassured them that it wasn't the end of the show, it was the end of an act. So we decided that would be the site of the Big Build. We had 65 people in the pipeline ready to go. The coolest thing about the Big Build is it brings people together from us, North Americans, them, Africans, and it all comes together. So here on the Big Build, there really isn't any us or them. We're breaking down all the things that divide people in the world. We're creating a different sense of community.
I'm grateful to have my 13-year-old with me because I think it's going to be really meaningful to him and change who he is.
I had a little bit of an idea what I was getting into. My wife, Rihanna, came 1 year prior, so I kind of had some groundwork set in front of me to what to expect and what to plan for. But until you really drive in, walk into the school grounds, see those kids, you can't explain it in words. You can tell somebody as many times as you want what it's like, but until you personally get to pick up those smiling kids and get your hands getting ripped in different directions, and they're yelling Mzungu and they see a tattoo and they're trying to rub it off, and just honestly, the irony of how happy this place is, being one of the poorest places on earth, I never get used to it, but it's a driving force, it's a happiness, it's the full package for me that keeps me coming back.
I first heard of Crossing Thresholds through a friend of a friend. I had never met her. She lived in California, and she was one day sitting in her office listening to NPR, of all things. She heard a statement from Carter Vaya about his organization, Grassroots, and she felt compelled to just want to go on the trip, and I never really knew why because I didn't know her. But I knew her aunt. I worked for her aunt, and so her auntie came to me one day and she said, my niece is really interested in going on this trip. This organization kind of captured her. She doesn't know a thing about it. She doesn't know why she wants to be a part of it, but it sounded like it's the best trip for her to go on a mission and help people. And then she said, would you like to go? And I said, well, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I've never even crossed the Atlantic Ocean. She described Africa, all that, and I was kind of terrified to even think about going. But then I started to look into Crossing Thresholds. I went to my husband and asked him if that was something we could do. And at first we were kind of skeptical because, again, we knew nothing about any of the people or the organization. And he finally grabbed my shoulders and he looked at me and he said, this is something you've always wanted to do. You need to go. And I was basically in tears and I went, okay, I'm going to make the jump. I was terrified to go by myself. I was leaving my daughter and my husband behind. I couldn't have prepared myself for a moment for that place. I looked at pictures, I heard stories, and I thought, oh, I know what I'm getting into. And when I came, the sights and the sounds and the smells and everything, it really hit me, and I struggled not crying walking through there. I didn't want to offend anybody. I started shaking hands, I started giving high fives, and then all of a sudden the children piled on me, and I didn't even know what to think. I didn't know if I was allowed to. So I just kind of melted into these little bitty souls jumping all over me, and I felt like this is something I can do. This is something I can do.
I borrowed an idea from St. Ignatius, who really, really cared and gave a lot of time to the idea of what brings about change. And he said 3 things: life experience, critical reflection, and commitment. There is no change unless all 3 of those come together. You can have an unbelievable experience and your life doesn't change. You can have an unbelievable experience and think about the big ideas that came up in and through that experience, and nothing necessarily changes. But if you have the experience, you think about the big ideas and the lessons, and you decide to do something differently with your life, change is at your fingertips. Personal change, communal change, social change, global change.
They encouraged us. They have given me hope. The relationship has grown. They are now friends. They are now like my brothers. In fact, one of them, we are calling each other brother. My brother, welcome. My brother, you have come. Because I see now there is hope in life. I can make it.
The big build was an incredible success. In 6 days, we watched walls built and painted. In 6 days, we watched the roof go over the kitchen and the library and classrooms. And so when we dedicated the school, We dedicated 6 days of working side by side with our Kenyan counterparts and volunteers, and the school will be open for 350 kids who thought that they had lost their school forever.
The revitalized school is not just a place of knowledge, but also empowerment. Alice and other girls are learning self-defense through a program called No Means No. In a society where sexual abuse is rampant, they are being taught essential survival skills.
Stand. You have to be on stand. When you come here, you are hitting the groin grab, the groin. This is my weapon, and this is the target. Remember, we are the ones who have the weapons. Some of you have the weapons. We have the weapons. They have the target. They have the target. We have the weapons. We have the weapons. They have the target. They have the target. No! 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 Ukikuja kwa huyu nammalizia na throat. No, hii inaitwa hammer fist. We expect the girls to be strong. Even if they're affected, they still have chance to live. We tell the girls we want them to learn our skills so that any other time no man can rape them. They can no longer get another man who can rape them. Because in Kenyan society, we always believe that when a girl has been assaulted, there is high chance of this girl being raped again. But because of that stigma, we want to give them strength. We give them skills. We give them power to make sure that this thing does not repeat in their lives again.
I would tell a Kenyan woman to believe in herself, that she's strong in spirit, she's strong in body, that it is her body, and she's smart and resourceful, and she can and should defend herself and be respectful of herself and everybody around her.
I felt good because I was taught how to protect myself. No one knows about tomorrow. There are bad people out there who might try to attack me, and the no means no has taught me self-defense. I learned how to protect myself from getting pregnant, and also protection from early pregnancies, and how you can confront someone who wants to rape you.
Promising students sometimes have the opportunity to get their university fees paid by foreigners. Brian and Mercy have both just finished university through the financial assistance of foreigners. Mercy studied public relations and Brian physical fitness. They are now looking forward to a life beyond Kibera.
Morning. Good morning. How are you? Fine, thank you. Good. Thank you. Good.
Now that I've graduated from university, I don't wish to be a housewife. I want to be a career woman, just to put what I learned in school to come to reality. So that is my wish.
Brian has become a fitness trainer, catering to a wealthy clientele.
What I like about
fitness is all the conception around it. Looking good, being able to have the self-confidence when you're looking good, and the healthy factor about it. And it's just a way of, it's a way of a lifestyle if you're in it, so you're not like other people out there. You're living a good life.
With a grant from the Crossing Threshold Scholarship Programme, Benedict is now enrolled in his final year of high school. He wishes to continue his education and aspires to attend law school, come back home and advocate for the poor.
Here, if you don't have the right tools, the right people, the right resources, believe me, there is no one who will get here that we will be proud of. But when you have these things that I've spoken, the right people, the right resources, the right people to pull you out, I'm positive, 100% sure we are going to make it. But when we lack these things, because there's no one inside who can pull us, we need somebody from outside who can pull us, because inside already we are drowning. So there's no one else to pull us out. So we need somebody from outside to help us. So it's really sad in the environment we are living. But thank God recently things are changing. So we are seeing some development, and I'm believing the future is going to get better.
For those who struggle in Kibera, small businesses may be a way to improve their life. Foreign volunteers help with business plans and provide microfinancing to some, improving their odds of success.
Joseph! Good to see you. Good to see you.
Joseph received advice and a small loan, and is now expanding his fried bread business.
These folks are just like you and me in terms of wanting to be the best that they can be, wanting to provide for their families, and if they're given the opportunity, 9 out of 10 of them are going to succeed.
For the 3 years that I have been here, my business is doing well. I started very small, but it has been improving. I am the only one who supplies this merchandise to this area. I wish to expand to other places as well, if I get the means to transport my product to other areas where it is needed.
The best thing that could possibly come out of this is that the folks who we're working with develop a sense of self-confidence that they could bring back to their community and share with other people, showing other people how to be in business, how to be entrepreneurs, how to take risks, how to be successful, and knowing that that's possible is sometimes all it takes to ignite a person's spirit.
My plans for the future are to help other people through my business. I recognize I have been helped, and that it is my duty to help other people to get that trend of a helping hand to others as well.
Favorite hobby. What's your favorite hobby? Do you know what golf is?
Crossing Thresholds offers children the opportunity to meet and friend other children in North America and beyond.
That was a good explanation.
Providing a chance to learn about each other's lives, cultures, and interests.
11 years old. Yes. Yes.
Hearing about the challenges in Kibera from a colleague, an American musician decided to build a musical bridge between New York and Nairobi.
One thing that Philip and I are very interested in doing when we're there in January is having the music team perform somehow for the community.
Nina teamed up with Jacob, a Kibera musician, to teach music to poor kids.
The altos, you can put a little more breath into the instruments.
Okay. Now, we go. Pum, 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 pum. Are you guys ready? 1, 2, we go. Okay? Pum, 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 pum.
We envision a world in which all people have access to the transformative experience of making music together. Music transforms people by connecting them, by creating community, by creating the opportunity to be creative. And music just has a way of touching people's souls, bringing them to a place where they can access their feelings and communicate them and be creative through music.
I could say 101 million things about how music has impacted the children, but I'll just say a few. One, it's built the confidence of the children, especially how they express themselves. Number two, it's given the children an opportunity just to express themselves and be who they are naturally. And number three, I believe in what we term as individual differences, and so the music program has catered for the individuals who are talented in music.
The music in Fafu School began in 2012. Our first participation in the national level in 2014, we became number 7 in the Republic of Kenya. The following year, 2015, number 2. 2016, 2017, 2018, we have maintained number 1. Now, Fafu as a school, we're in the map, we're in the world map.
When I won first prize in the music competition, I felt really happy. You just feel so much special because you try your best and win. So you feel excited. So you start believing in yourself, and you can now believe that you can do anything and try new things. So you don't get afraid anymore.
When I'm working with the children and their teachers here in Kibera, I feel as though I get back at least 100% of what I give to them. They're inherently musical, I feel. They're inherently poetic. Kenyan traditional music is varied and beautiful and wonderful. I learn from them, I learn from their music, and incidentally, I try to take that music back to the children that we work with in New York City. That's very important. We try to connect in many ways between our students in New York City and our students in Kenya.
I love traditional songs because it came from my grandmother. She was also a singer. She was the one who inspired me.
Herua he mayowe herua he herua ramukadi herua herua he mayowe herua he herua ramukadi herua bagamoyo herua.
The music program in Kibera has had a huge impact on the kids. We see it every day. We see it in palpable ways. We see kids much more joyful and alive. We see kids with obvious heightened self-esteem. We see kids who now understand what it means to take a talent or take a passion and share it with other people. What has it done for the school? I think it's given our schools a much broader sense of identity. Music has become a defining characteristic. We have used music to teach kids how to work together, how to be in community with one another, how to collaborate, to help kids to do what they do excellently, to the best of their ability. And we want all of our schools to be schools of excellence. So music has helped to make these schools places where kids are pursuing excellence.
volunteering is a life-changing experience. Working with the volunteers, Brian gives back to the community and the kids by sharing his love for fitness.
In again. Out. One more time. Breathe in. Hold it. And out. Good job.
The whole purpose and meaning of life and why we are here on this planet in this point of time is connecting with others and serving others. So I think that's what gives life meaning. I think we definitely need each other very much. And with the advancement of technology, there has been the ability to connect in a way that we could never have imagined, and it makes life very convenient. But with that, then there's also a tremendous disconnect too, because there are less opportunities sometimes to be as personal and in person. If you can text versus pick up the phone versus sit down and have coffee with somebody, making that connection is important. So as it relates to this trip in particular, you can turn on the news, you could watch a documentary, but it's not a substitute for the human interaction that exists. And I think that it reminds us all, regardless of our background, where we come from, cultural differences, that fundamentally we really want the same things out of life and that we struggle with very similar challenges. I would say we want to be fulfilled, we want to feel safe, we want to feel love, and for me, we also want to feel connected. You know, I think being disconnected is what then breeds anxiety and depression and loneliness, and I think we are more full and rich in our own lives when we are connected to others.
Darkness and light have always coexisted, and I've always believed that there's actually more darkness than there is light. And in Kibera, it just seems striking, it seems dramatic. You walk through the alleyways and they are dark. You walk into people's homes, or shall we say rooms where they live, and there's a lot of darkness. There are aspects of poverty that absolutely break my heart. I hate those aspects of poverty. I hate that people live like that. I hate that kids go to bed hungry. I hate that kids who have a doctor in them or a nurse in them or a musician or an artist in them do not have a chance to have talent become learning, become expression. So seeing how people live, well, at the same time that I hate certain things about Kibera or poverty, I love certain things about Kibera. I love the resilience of the human spirit. I love the access to raw emotion and passion. I love how many people in Kibera are energetic and motivated, how many people are quick studies, how many people are ready to work hard, how many people are ready to become more than they've been. But one of the reasons we build schools is to make sanctuaries, to make beacons of light. We create space where light can come into the courtyard and light can come into the classroom. Actual light, as well as metaphorical light, so that people have a chance to live.
Kibera is a place where dreams are broken and sometimes reborn. Against all odds, many persevere to transcend the fate with which they were born.
Despite all the environment around me, I decided to come out different. I didn't want to let my environment define what I'm supposed to be. So I came out different, and also I'm a go-getter. Like when I get a chance, I always want to use it like in a good way, perfectly. Yeah.
like crossing thresholds to be in Kenya, and I'd like crossing thresholds to be in Haiti. I would like for crossing thresholds to be in Honduras. I would like crossing thresholds to be talked about in whiteboard exercises in lots of different places, and it keeps building.